Then they go see the lunch lady. The lunch lady says, I saw Mr. Smeggy and Mr. Yee at the competition. They are both terrified of science and they refuse to teach those classes. So if we go to Mr. Yee's column here, we know that he won't be teaching science. So he won't be teaching chemistry and he won't be teaching physics. And then we go to Mr. Smeggy's and we do the same. No chemistry, no physics. And Esther's teacher was such a kook, she brought pom-poms to cheer Esther on. Well, notice the word she. So Esther's teacher is female. So there are two females, Mrs. Dabble and Miss Pigolini. So for Esther's row, she won't have Mr. Yee or Mr. Boswell or Mr. Smeggy, which we already knew. Okay, Cole had trouble with several questions, but at least he wasn't the worst student up there. So if we go to Cole's row, he wasn't the worst student, so we're going to put an X there. You know these competitions can be so hard on students. The student in the red shirt was sobbing. That poor kid had done the worst of all the contestants. I tell you, it broke my heart. So red then, whoever was in red was the worst, so they were in 5th place. So we put an O there, and we put X for the rest of that column, because no other color shirt did worst, and we put X in the rest of that row, because the red shirted person didn't come in any other color. All right, now what we're going to do now that we have an O is we're going to try to see sideways and vertically what information we have. So we know that for the red, it's not Mr. Yee and it's not Mr. Smeggy. So we're going to put the same information sideways. So not Mr. Yee, we already know it's not Mr. Smeggy. We also know that the red shirt is not English, so we're going to put that here. So the red shirt is not English. Okay, so Rachel says she needs more information, so she's going to go talk to Mr. Ball. Mr. Ball says, sure, I watched the competition. The 5 students were Mr. Boswell's student, the student who came first, Cole, the physics student, and the student wearing yellow. So if we go to Mr. Boswell's row, we know his student wasn't first because that was the second student. They're all different students. Then if we go to the physics, that was a different student also. So the physics student wasn't first, and the physics student wasn't Mr. Boswell. So we're going to put X's there. And then if we go to the yellow, we know the yellow student wasn't first because it's a different student. The yellow student wasn't Mr. Boswell's student, and the yellow student wasn't physics. And then if we go to Cole's row, we know Cole wasn't first, Cole wasn't Mr. Boswell's student, Cole wasn't physics, and Cole wasn't yellow. Miss Pigolini was there. She only teaches science classes. So we're going to go to Miss Pigolini's column, and she only teaches science, so she won't be teaching history, and she won't be teaching English. So just the 2 science classes are possible for her. She felt good because her student did better than average. Okay, well, average is 3rd place, that's the middle. So Miss Pigolini's student did better than that. So not 3rd and not 5th. So Miss Pigolini's student had to have been 1st or 2nd. Cole was hoping to make his teacher, Mr. Smeggy, proud, but it didn't work out that way. So Cole's teacher was Mr. Smeggy. So we put an O there, and X for the rest of that row and the rest of that column, because Cole didn't have any other teacher and Mr. Smeggy only had Cole as a student. By the end, Cole was just glad he did better than the history student. So Cole then wasn't history. All right, now let's look at this O here. Cole is not wearing red according to this X here. So we're going to put that here. And he's not wearing yellow, so let's fill that in as well here in this direction. Cole is not history or physics, so we're going to make sure we have that here. So we can add not history and not physics, but over here we knew he wasn't chemistry either. So let's put that in for Cole. He's not chemistry. And we know Cole is not the first and not the fifth, and Cole is Mr. Smiggy's student, so we already have that information, so we're okay there. Did I mention that Miss Pigolini's student wore a purple shirt that matched her skirt? So Miss Pigolini's student is a girl because it's her skirt. So Miss Pigolini then has to have a girl as her student. So it could be Esther, it can't be Bambo, and it can't be Doug. So that's the only thing it can be, it's Esther. So we're going to put an O there for Esther. So Esther is Miss Pigolini's student, and she was wearing purple. So now we know that Esther is wearing purple, so we're going to put an O there. X for the rest of that column, and X for the rest of that row. And then in this direction, we're going to put purple, because Miss Pigolini's student is wearing purple. And then X for the rest of that column. And then we know Miss Pigolini can only be teaching either chemistry or physics. And when we look this way from Miss Pigolini, from this O here, we see she can't be chemistry. So she has to be physics. So Miss Pigolini then is the physics teacher. And we're going to put X's in the rest of that row and column. Then if we go to purple, which is Miss Pigolini's student, that's physics. So we'll put X's in the rest of that column and X in the rest of that row. And we know that Esther is Miss Pigolini's student, so she has to be taking physics. And we put X for the rest of that column and for the rest of that row. And now we know that if we go to purple, purple can't be first, fourth, or fifth. So Esther can't be first, fourth, or fifth. Physics can't be first, fourth, or fifth, since that's the same. And Miss Pigolini, it is the same. It can't be first, fourth, or fifth, which tells us that Miss Pigolini has to have the student that came in second. So we'll put X's in the rest of that column. So since she teaches physics, that her student has to be second. So we'll put X in the rest of that column and row. And her student was wearing purple, so purple came in second. So we'll put X in the rest of that row and column. So we know Esther is her student, so Esther has to come in second. So we got a lot of information from there.